everyone. Tonight I'm going to make pizzelles. I guess it depends on where you're from what you call it. I call them pizzelles, but they're a little cookie. It's real thin, it's got powdered sugar on it. There's several variations, vanilla, chocolate, anise, all kinds of recipes for them. They're kind of simple. I'm going to start by putting in 6 eggs and getting them whipped up. Just go ahead and throw those right in here. So that's 6 regular eggs, and we're going to beat them. Doesn't take a whole lot to do that. I'm going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar, just plain white sugar, and I'm just going to add it a little at a time as this is stirring. And with that, I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I was looking at a recipe that had Sambuca in it, a ½ cup, maybe the next batch. But for now, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now I'm going to add butter. This is 2 sticks of butter. Now I'm also going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. I sifted my flour a little earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and add that, just a scoop at a time, but I want to go get the guard so that the flour doesn't dry all over, and I want to get my scoop. So we'll let that rest for just a moment. Okay, I'm back with the guard on my machine to keep the flour, and it's all been sifted. There's 4 cups of sifted flour. I'm going to start mixing this in a little at a time. I'm looking for a soft, doughy texture. This recipe will make approximately 150 pizzelles, and they are a fan favorite all over. Everybody loves them. We will coat them with powdered sugar as we cook them. And I'll talk about that machine to cook them shortly. Okay, that's mixed really well. Okay, that's what the dough should look like. If it gets too runny, you just need to add a little flour. If it gets too thick on you, you can always add a couple of teaspoons, ½ teaspoon at a time of water. And once you make this once or twice, once you get the first couple done, you'll see if you need to do anything to it. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's just a time consumer. Okay, I'm going to get this all set, and then we're going to tell you about the machine that we're going to use to cook these. Okay, we're ready to get started. This is my dough, and I'm going to sit down for this because this is a long process. It takes a lot of time. Each batch takes about a minute. It does 3 cookies per minute. I'm expected about 150, so that's, you can do the math. It's going to take a while. I'm going to use, it says a teaspoon. If I use an actual teaspoon, it's just a little shy. It doesn't fill the whole cookie. So the first couple, you kind of have to play with how much dough you're going to use. And I'm just waiting for the controller to say it's showing baking. I have to wait for it to go green for ready. I've plugged it in. The very first time you buy this, you kind of clean it up and you spray it with cooking oil, or you can add a little olive oil or whatever oil. After that, it says you don't need to redo that. I find you do. So you get a little smoke off there. It's very hot. So we're going to go ahead and add a little less than a teaspoon on each. A regular teaspoon, not a baker's teaspoon. You kind of have to play with it. You do 1 or 2 batches and see where you're at with it. Go ahead and lock this down. Now this has a little numbered wheel to go lighter or darker depending on your preference. I've made a little note in my little book with all the different recipes that I like to cover the number 4. So as soon as I roll it back and the number 4 is covered, that's generally where I like it. So we're just going to wait, and again, it's going to take a round or 2 till I get them just right, and you'll see what I mean as I take them out. I have something like tongs ready because they are hot, And you don't want to take them off with your fingers because you will burn your hands. This is a very hot little machine. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take a peek. See how they're coming. They feel soft when you first take them off. Still need a little bit more. This one I did good with. The other two I didn't. And you just put them in some powdered sugar. And if you have a helper, they can run them back and forth in the sugar and then put them in the other pan, which is what I do. These stay good for quite a while, and they're very varied in the flavors. You can do the anise, the chocolate. This is just the plain vanilla. And if you take them while they're soft and put them in a little dowel, it can actually make kind of a quasi cannoli shell. I've done that before and just made a cannoli filling and filled them up, and everybody liked them a lot. So, until I get the cycle going. Beautiful. And if you have help, you can also cut the edges so that they're perfectly round, because once they harden, they will just snap right off, like this little batch here. Cover it with some powdered sugar, and there you go. Beautiful little cookies. But you want to try to keep them flat as you can, because they stack up very nicely. But if you do curl them to make cannoli shells, or if you want to cup them over the side of a little cup, you can put ice cream in them. There's actually a lot of things you can do with these. They're pretty versatile. If you have any other ideas or something you've done with them that works well, let me know. I'm trying to figure out the right amount to make them full. I think I've got it. And I've got the cycle going here, so I can start going a little faster once I get the bacon, the ready lights together. So we're going to snap that closed. It's showing baking now, and as soon as the light hits green, it should be where I want it. If not, I'll just adjust this knob to make them a little lighter or darker, depending on how this batch comes out. You can see I got a little overhang here. We'll just take that right off. You can always trim them if you do it while you first take it out. You can do it with scissors. As it dries, you just snap it. They'll break apart pretty easily. You can, I'm sure, do it with kitchen shears as well. But once they're baked, they're a little crisp, and they're really kind of a good cookie. If you've never had it before, try to get somebody to make you some, or go ahead and try and make them yourself. Okay, that might have been just a little bit too much, but there you go. We're going to put that right in the powdered sugar. Cover it in this some. Dust it up, both sides. So we can always break it up later. They cool off really quickly too, so there you go. When I'm all done, I'll show you a picture with them all trimmed, and you can see how pretty they look when they're done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sit here for about an hour or so and do a batch, and we'll get back to you and show you the finished product when I'm all finished. Well, that was a fun hour and a half roughly to do all of these. My husband did come away from the camera and help dip them in the sugar while I was flipping them back and forth. This is a bowl which I think he breaks a couple of extra just for him. These are the pieces, the ends that we cut off to make them nice and round. And that becomes the snack cup. And these are the ones that we'll package up to go in our Christmas platters to our friends and family. So that was the first batch of Pizzelle vanilla. Probably do one more batch, maybe with a little Sambuca in it, or maybe a batch of chocolate. I haven't decided yet. I have so many cookie recipes that I want to get to, but I'm running out of freezer space. So this is it. There's our Pizzelles, or Pizzelles. Depends. It's kind of tomato, whichever way you like to say it. Just enjoy eating them. Merry Christmas. If you like my video, please like, follow, share. I'm trying to build up my audience here. I appreciate all of your comments, and thanks again, and Merry Christmas.